We're suddenly hearing a lot about Chinese electric vehicles, about how they're cheaper and better than many of those made in the West. There's a lot of talk about tariffs and trying to restrict their flow into Western countries so they don't wipe out domestic auto industries. But how did this happen so fast? And how come Western auto companies failed to keep up with the competition? A recent article in the FT makes the point that, yes, China's upstarts benefited from huge state subsidies and lower labour costs, and started from a cleaner slate. They grasped more quickly, though, that EVs' value lies more in snazzy software and electronics than in mechanics. The point here seems to be that, crucially, Chinese car makers outdid their Western counterparts on the innovation front. How did Western CEOs not see this coming and fall behind? A really interesting article has been doing the rounds on social media recently, which takes up this question. Hat tip to Gen 2, by the way, for raving about this article on X, which is how I came across it. The article is by Louis Vincent Garve at GarveCal Financial Services Company. The article really resonated with me. Garve raises several issues which I've talked about before in videos on this channel, which is why I wanted to make a video about it. The article has the quite blunt title, Prejudice and China. I won't talk through everything it says. I'll post the link in the description below this video so you can read the whole thing if you'd like to. But here's just a few things that particularly struck me. First, for several years, no one from the West bothered to visit China. For a while, of course, people couldn't go to China because of the COVID lockdowns. Then, after Russia's invasion of Ukraine, investors continued to stay away. And they were also dealing with all manner of supply chain problems as a result of that invasion. So perhaps for this reason, they just weren't paying attention to what was going on in China. A second likely explanation could simply be good old-fashioned ingrained cultural prejudice. Garve says it may be unkind to highlight it, but history has shown that Western leaders repeatedly underestimate their Asian competitors. He gives several examples here, including Russia's underestimation of Japanese military prowess in 1905, which ended in their humiliating defeat in the Russo-Japanese War, and also United States military leaders' repeated underestimation of their Asian opponents, which they did in both the Korean War and the Vietnam War. Garve also points out that people in the West thinking of China as communist, a term which they automatically associate with inefficiency and technological backwardness, may have clouded their judgment. Third, he suggests the relentlessly negative coverage of China by the Western media was doing its readers a disservice. In other words, a consistent overemphasis on the problems China is facing while marginalizing coverage of things that are actually going well. China does have problems, some of them very serious, but Garve says, by disproportionately focusing on these, Western media helped their readers to develop a massive blind spot when it came to China's global economic and geopolitical impact. The result of not keeping up with Chinese tech development is now leading to policies of trying to exclude China from Western markets through protectionist policies. But in the end, that may well be counterproductive. If Western industries are going to keep up, they need to be engaging in healthy competition with Chinese companies, not trying to shut them out. I talk about this in another video, which I'll post here, so it should be showing up at the bottom of this screen right now. Thank you for watching.